हाँ हाँ स्टार्ट करिबा स्टार्ट
यू स्टार्ट करिबी तमर
तम स्टार्ट कर
स्टार्ट है ना
ओके ମୁଁ स्टार्ट ରୁ କରୁଛି ଶୁଣ ये सब्जेक्ट को बोलो गुड आफ्टरनून स्टार्ट करेंगे ना हमारे पूरा मूल तो हां फिर वो खाता है 4 to 5 पके Good evening, welcome to Vanik Smart Class. Today we'll discuss another important chapter that is called Circulatory System. It comes from a word that is called circle. Okay, and see this is a circle. And just I am doing an once again. Let's a person गोटे लोक एठी ठिया हेची हैला सपोज पॉइंट ए रे तो ये बुली 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 आसी पूणी पूणी सेठी पहुंचीबो हना नहीं दैट मींस इट इज कॉल्ड सर्कल तो हम बॉडी रे भी सेमती सर्कुलेशन किए करूची दैट इज डन बाय ब्लड and it flows through a vessel. It flows through a vessel. Vessel माने कौन tube. Through a vessel that is called blood vessel. Okay, vessels रो meaning हैला कौन tube. And this vessel is divided into two type. हैला one is artery, another is vein. Okay, one is artery, another is vein. And now artery is a type of blood vessel that carries oxygenated blood. Okay, that carries what? Oxygenated blood from heart to different part of the body. एबे क्वेश्चन हैला हार्ट कौन देखो हार्ट विषय में डिटेल्स तो कहिबी नाउ कम टू हार्ट इज ए पंपिंग ऑर्गन एंड इट इज ए जंक्शन पॉइंट हैला तो वन बाय देखो फर्स्ट हैला जंक्शन पॉइंट जंक्शन पॉइंट तो देखो भाई गुड इवनिंग अभिलाष ड्यू टू सम नेटवर्क इशू वी डिड नॉट स्टार्ट एट 4 o'clock नाउ आई थिंक एवरीवन इज गेटिंग माय वॉइस प्रॉपर्ली तो तमे माने जदी मो वॉइस प्रॉपर्ली सुनी पारुचो मते कमेंट्स रे लेखो जंक्शन पॉइंट तो एठी कि ना हमरो सब ब्लड वेसल आसे जंक्शन पॉइंट कोन जेमति रेलवे जंक्शन पॉइंट ओके एठी कोन हुए ना सब जाको ट्रेन एमति आसीबो पुणी सेठू बाहर के सब जाक ट्रेन एमती जीवो तो जंक्शन पॉइंट रो काम कोन ना जंक्शन पॉइंट ता रेगुलेट द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ दिस ट्रेन जदी जंक्शन पॉइंट न थांता को ट्रेन क्वाड आसंता क्वाड जानता केही भी जानि पारंते ने ठीक रे ओके तो सेति पय जंक्शन पॉइंट ता रहिबा निहाती दरकार तो एबे देखो सेमती एबे एटा हार्ट ता हला गोटे जंक्शन पॉइंट काहे कि ना एठू सब जाक ब्लड वेसल एमती बाहरुची आ पुणी एठू बाहर की जाउची Okay, that's why it is called junction point. And mind it, artery is a type of blood vessel that carries oxygenated blood from the heart to different part of the body. ହେଲା ଏଠି ସବୁ artery ବାହାରେ, ଏଠୁ artery ବାହାରେ। ଆଉ vein is a type of blood vessel that mainly carries carbonated blood or deoxygenated blood from different part to the heart. Okay, तो एगुड़ा सब कौन vein कोठू बॉडी रु हार्ट को गला। तो देखलो एठू सब गला vein पुणी vein गुड़ा को एठू बाहरिला, सॉरी आर्टरी गुड़ा एठी ब्लड वेसल दैट इज कॉल्ड आर्टरी एठू बाहरिला। तो एमान को पई हार्ट टा कोन हला गोटे जंक्शन पॉइंट हला। नाउ सेकंड पॉइंट ऑफ द हार्ट, इट इज अ पंपिंग ऑर्गन, इट इज ए पंपिंग ऑर्गन। कौन पाए को पंपिंग ऑर्गन कहते? देखो बाय रिसीविंग द ब्लड फ्रॉम द वेन इट एक्सपांड एंड that blood delivered to the artery by contracting the heart. So this contraction and expansion shows that heart is a pumping organ. Okay. Okay. Now come to next point. तो देखिया केमती हार्ट टा सर्कुलेशन केमती हम बॉडी रे होउची आज डायग्राम रे बुझेबी तापरे तम मन को एग्जैक्ट फिगर को नेकी जीबी। ओके, तो देखो एबे ए देखो वर्तमान दिस इज कॉल्ड हार्ट। हार्ट रो आर्टरी बाहरुची, तो मु एठी लिखिली एरोटा, एरोटा लिखिली ना आर्टरी लिखिली एरोटा। नाउ एरोटा divided into artery. Okay, now this artery divided into arteriole. Now arteriole again divided into capillaries. Okay, capillaries. Now it supply oxygenated blood to this cell. Okay, oxygenated blood to the cell, and in between the cell and capillary there is a fluid, body fluid, that is called lymph. So lymph is a body fluid that is exception of the RBC. That means lymph equal to blood minus RBC. Clear? आउ एटा वर्तमान कोडी मिल गला बे ऑक्सीजन टा सेल को पहुंचला। ऑक्सीजन टा सेल रे कोन काम करूची? टू ब्रेक द ग्लूकोज मॉलिक्यूल टू गिव द एनर्जी, and now this energy, after the formation of this energy, CO2 form, and that CO2 carried out again by capillaries through the lymph. So capillary is a type of blood vessel that connect artery to the vein. Okay, artery to the vein, and this vein, capillaries again combine to form venules, that is called venules. Venules again, so many venules are communicate to each other, that are called vein. Okay, and all the veins that comes from the heart and the organs that are present above the heart combine to form a large vein, that is called superior vena cava. What is that? That is called superior vena cava. Just I am writing. Okay, now see, this is called superior vena cava. Clear? Similarly, the veins that arises from the organs present below the heart and combines to form a large vein, that is called inferior vena cava. Okay, that is called inferior vena cava. Okay, in this way देखो तमरो जो टू ब्लड बाहरी थिला पुणी जाई सेठी पहुंचला ना नहीं, That means it form a circle and this system is called circulatory system. 100% बुझी पारिल? तो एटा को एबे हमें देखिबा elaborately form रे. चलो now come to next. Now try to understand this figure. देखो, this is a 4-chamber heart. Okay, mainly externally the heart looks like looks like that. Okay, this is the external feature and this is the anatomical. Okay, this is left atrium, this is right atrium, right atrium and left ventricle, right ventricle. कौन समस्त सबू एनिमल्स रे जेते भी एनिमल्स अछंती समस्त कर 4-chamber heart? No. Then fish has 2-chamber heart. Okay, this is atrium, one ventricle. Okay, now amphibians and reptiles having 3-chamber heart means 2 atrium and 1 ventricle, 2 atrium and 1 ventricle. This is left atrium, this is right atrium, and this is 1 ventricle. Okay. Similarly, birds and mammal, but one crocodile having, one reptile, that is called crocodile, having 4-chamber heart. Now 4-chamber heart are present in birds and mammals. So this is a mammalian heart, means our heart. It is divided into 4-chamber, left atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. Okay. Now we started from the aorta. So see, from the left ventricle, largest artery, that is called aorta, comes. Okay, aorta. Now this aorta divided into so many aorta, means three aorta. What are those? First is called ascending aorta, and this ascending aorta now divided to coronary, left coronary artery and right coronary artery, and that coronary artery supply oxygenated blood to our what? Wall of the heart. Why wall of the heart require oxygenated blood? Because it contract and expand. That means it wants some energy, and energy comes from glucose, and glucose needs oxygen molecule to break up its molecule to give the energy, and that oxygen carried out by the coronary artery. One important objective question for your exam: which artery carries oxygenated blood to the wall of the heart? That is called coronary artery. That not enter into the heart, because heart is a totally balloon like structure. The inner part of the means heart is empty, there is nothing. Okay. Okay, now coronary artery, the wall of the heart now get the oxygenated blood, and now the second aorta is called aortic arc. Okay, that is called aortic arc. Now aortic arc divided into so many artery that supply the blood to those part of the heart, that is called, those part of the body that are present above the heart, like neck, mouth, okay, nose, eye. So these are the organs that are present above the heart, and body organs get the oxygenated blood to artery that comes from aortic arc. Now below the heart, descending aorta, it divided into so many artery that supply that is divided into so many arteries that supply oxygenated blood to those part of the body that are present below the heart, like leg, alimentary canal, and what? Alimentary canal, sex organ, like this. Okay. Now each and every part of the body get oxygenated blood, and simultaneously carbon dioxide present. Okay, carbon dioxide also occurs. Carbon dioxide also formation takes place in the different part of the body, and that carbon dioxide is carried out from the body to the heart through the veins. Now, from heart and upper part of the heart, so many veins combine to form a large vein that is called superior vena cava and reaches to the right atrium of the heart. Similarly, the veins present below the heart combine to form a large vein, means different parts of the body veins come that are present below the heart, and that veins combine to form a big vein that is called inferior vena cava. That is inferior vena cava. Okay, inferior vena cava. Okay, now that is called inferior vena cava. So now that two vena cava enter into the inner part of the heart, that is called right atrium. Now that that deoxygenated or carbonated blood enter into the the right ventricle, and here there is a chance to be the backward flow. That's why it is prevented by a valve that is called tricuspid valve. Now this enter into the pulmonary artery, and that artery carries carbon dioxide. This is the exceptional artery that carries carbon dioxide or carbonated blood, and finally it enter into the lungs. Okay, and from the lungs this carbon dioxide from the blood remove outside and oxygen enter. Now that empty blood carries the oxygenated blood and enter into the left atrium through a vein that is called pulmonary vein, because we know that it is the universal truth that all veins from the body enter into the heart. So here lungs is an organ, and from here a blood vessel should be enter into the heart, that should be your what? Vein, and it arises from the lungs. That's why it is called pulmo. The pulmo means lungs. That is called pulmonary vein. And now this pulmonary vein takes the oxygenated blood and enter into the left atrium. Okay, left atrium. Then it enter into the left ventricle. Hello? And that is guarded backward flow of the blood guarded by a valve that is called bicuspid valve. Okay, now this enter into the aorta, that oxygenated blood enter into the aorta from left ventricle, and here also backward flow can possible, so it is prevented by a valve that is called aortic valve. Okay, तो let's see आमे देखिले जोठू आमे start करथिले आमे सेठी पहुंचले पुनी, so that means it form a circle and this system is called circulatory system. Clear? And the system is called circulatory system. Okay, now let's see one thing. Here form one circle and here form another circle. That is why it is called double circulation. Okay, now here liver is written. Why? देखो आमे जहाँ सब खाऊचे हमर एलिमेंटरी कैनाल को जाऊचे तो से गुडा को 100% हाइजेनिक हेइथिबो किछि माने नै, सेतिरे बहुत सारा टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंस थिबो, बहुत सारा टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंस थिबो जे कि जदि आमे हार्ट को पळेबो हार्ट डैमेज होबार चांसेस थिबो ना नहीं तो सेति पय सेगुडा को आगे जीव लिवर रे जाई सेटा डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन हबो तो देखो एबे टॉक्सिक माने हैला पॉइजन टॉक्सिक मींस व्हाट पॉइजन तो एगुडा को सब आगे लिवर को जाई की अब्जॉर्ब होई कि डिटॉक्सिफाई हबो तापर सेटा हार्ट को जीवो डायरेक्टली हार्ट को गले हार्ट डैमेज होबार चांसेस अछि तो दिस इज द सर्कुलेशन ओके तो तमरो वेराइटीज ऑफ क्वेश्चन केमती आसीबो which part of the heart carries oxygenated or pure blood that is left part which part of the heart carries deoxygenated or impure or carbonated blood right right part of the heart right atrium and right ventricle guarded by a valve that is called tricuspid valve similarly left atrium and left ventricle guarded by a valve that is called bicuspid valve okay okay now in this way this part over now come to another now see it is written that is it is a system in which blood is circulated in body through the blood vessel via heart body get oxygen and carbon dioxide removed from the body okay now the circulatory system contains artery vein heart okay artery is a type of blood vessel with thick wall with the high pressure blood now similarly vein it is a comparatively thin wall with blood flow with a low pressure. Now what is heart? Heart is a present at the left side of the body in between the lungs in the thoracic cavity. Clear? Thoracic cavity means what? It is the gap in between the ribs and our heart. Okay, heart, lungs. That is called thoracic cavity. Means the hollow portion with the rib cage. With inside the rib cage is called thoracic cavity. Rib cage form the ribs vertebral column, back side and front side sternum. These three combinedly called our rib cage. Okay. तापर देखो weight of the heart is male 280 to 340 gram. Okay. Average is 310 gram. Similarly, female 230 to 280 gram. Now, heart is covered by pericardium. This is very important for your upcoming exam. Heart is covered by what? Heart is covered by your pericardium. Clear? Now, next. Now, it is four chambered. Left atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. Okay, now left atrium and right atrium separated by interarterial septum. Okay, now see from the left atrium to right atrium that oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood can be combined. So that's why they are separated through a septum that is called interarterial septum. Similarly, the two ventricles are separated by interventricular septum. Clear? Left atrium and left ventricle guarded by bicuspid or mitral valve. Similarly, right atrium and right ventricle are guarded by tricuspid valve. Okay? Now, bicuspid and tricuspid valve are combinedly called atrioventricular valve. Similarly, left ventricle and aorta are guarded by a valve that is called aortic valve. Okay? Now, Now right ventricle and pulmonary artery are guarded by pulmonary valve. Similarly, aortic valve and pulmonary valve combinedly called semilunar valve. Oxygen from lungs reaches to the left atrium through a pulmonary vein. Okay. Now blood removed from the left ventricle through the aorta. Okay. Now aorta divided to form three branches. Okay. The ascending aorta, aortic arc and descending aorta. The ascending aorta divided into two coronary arteries supply blood to the wall of the heart. Aortic arc divided so many arteries supply blood to upper portion of the body. Similarly, descending aorta supply blood to lower part of the body below the heart. Clear? Now, come to heartbeat. Let's see heartbeat. What is heartbeat? Listen, I am again drawing that four chamber heart. Listen, I am drawing here. This is four chamber heart. Now, from the pulmonary vein and superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, that drains blood to the atrium. So now atrium expand. Now again from this atrium blood enter into the ventricle. That means ventricle receive. That means atrium contract and ventricle expand. Similarly, again your from the ventricle blood comes outside. Okay, blood comes outside. In this way that part become contract. Okay, so what you learn, when this part become contract, this part expand, and when this part contract, this part expand, and that is very rhythmic, means quick, and that rhythmic contraction and expansion of the heart is called heartbeat. Okay, heartbeat. Clear? That is called heartbeat. That rhythmic contraction and expansion of the heart is called heartbeat, and it takes 0.8 second, means below 1 second. Okay, so in 1 minute यानी कि 60 second, it's above 60 time or below 60 time? Above 60 time, that is called 72 time. Okay, and that heartbeat is controlled by a part of the brain that is called our medulla oblongata. That is called medulla oblongata. Okay, and that is 10th cranial nerve. The nerve cell that arises from the brain are called cranial nerve. Okay. Now heartbeat is a 24 into 7 process. It is a restless organ. So it also contains so many muscles that regulate your heartbeat. Okay. Now that is called SA node, AV node, and bundle of his and Purkinje fiber. Now try to understand here a muscle that is called SA node, sinoatrial node, and it initiates the heartbeat by producing electrical signal that is called impulse, and it is connected by another muscle that is called AV node, that is sinoatrial node, or that is also called pacemaker, that is AV node. Now impulse passes to the AV node, and so that the blood enter from atrium to ventricle. Now this atrium means this, now this AV node again connected to a muscles that is called bundle of his. कौन आपको कहते? Bundle of his. This bundle of his now carries the impulse and passes this electrical signal to ventricle. Now all the part of ventricle has to be contract, so it is that impulse passes through a fiber that is called Purkinje fiber. कौन आपको कहते? Purkinje fiber. Now each and every part of the ventricle now get means what, contract, and finally blood comes to the aorta, and what, that is called pulmonary artery, that is called our heartbeat. Okay, now in heartbeat per day near about 1 lakh's time. Clear? Now next is cardiac output. Now come to cardiac output. Now heart rate means what? The Now heart rate is number of beats per minute is called heart rate. Number of beats per minute is called heart rate. Okay. Now the stroke volume. Stroke volume, the volume of the blood that comes from the ventricle in each beat. That is 75 ml. Now cardiac output is heart rate plus stroke volume. Heart rate is 72 times, stroke volume is 75. That product is 5400 ml, and that is 5.4 ml. Clear? So that is called cardiac output. Now come to blood pressure. Blood pressure, the pressure arises on the wall of the blood vessel as compared to the atmospheric pressure is called blood vessel. Let's see. Okay. Now this is the blood vessel. It may be artery, it may be vein. Okay, तो जेतले ब्लड टाइट आसीबो से वॉल रे सेटा बाडई हबो, and that is balanced by the atmospheric pressure. So blood pressure is the pressure of the blood on the wall of the blood vessel as compared to what, as compared to atmospheric pressure is called blood vessel. Okay, sorry, it's called blood pressure, and it is measured in an instrument that is called sphygmomanometer, and it was invented by Samuel Siegfried, and S.R. Rossi introduced a more easily used version. Clear? The blood pressure is measured in the brachial artery, that brachial artery present in the arm region, and it measures the accurate blood pressure. That's why brachial artery is used to measure the blood pressure. Now what is the normal blood pressure? That is 120 by 80 millimeter Hg. Hg means mercury, and 120 is called systolic pressure and 80 is called diastolic pressure. What is the meaning of systolic and diastolic? Systolic means contraction of the heart, and diastolic means expansion of the heart. Okay. Now Okay, now come to next, heart sound. That is called heart sound, and that is love dub sound. Love dub. Love means the closing of the bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve, and dub sound arises pulmonary valve by closing the pulmonary valve and aortic valve. Okay, this is called dub sound. The heart sound is called love dub sound. Okay, so this is all about your circulation chapter. The next class we will discuss about the blood. Okay, hope you enjoyed and learned so many things. Okay, and if you really satisfy, you can write, and any complaint, any doubt, you can ask in the complaint box. Okay, thank you to join. Thank you so much.
ଏଇଟା ଫାଙ୍କା ଅଛି ତ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ତମେ ଆକୁ ପଚାର ସନ୍ଦୀପକୁ ପଚାର କଣ ତ ସେ ଜାଣିନି କି ସନ୍ଦୀପ ଓଏସ୍ ର ଅଛି ବୋଲି କଣ କରୁଛି ସାର୍ କୁ ଇଏ ଦିଅ ନହେଲେ ଦବ ଯେ ସନ୍ଦୀପକୁ ପଚାର